Okay, here we go. We're on Nedarim Daf Hey Amud Aleph, and if we just go back to the bottom of Dalet Amud Bet, the bottom of 4b, two lines up from the bottom, we said that Shmuel made a statement that in the Mishnah when it says like that I'm distant from you, it has to be more in a detailed way. So I'm distant from you, Shani Ochel Lecha, that I'm not going to eat from you, Shani Toim Lecha, I'm not going to taste from your things. So at the bottom of Dalar Mubet, we said the Shmuel says, "Shani ochel lecha, shani to'am lecha, hu de asur, chavero mutar." He is asur. The person that makes the statement is asur for his friend's things, but the friend is allowed to have his things. Shani to'am lecha, that I'm not going to eat from your things. But then, right at the top of Hemud Aleph, aval omer mudrani hemach. But if a person says, "I am like distant from you, I'm swearing not to have anything to do with you." Lechudeh alone, so hemach is mimcha. Shneim asurim, both of them are asur. It's a both way. So it's mudrani hemach or mudrani mimcha. Then it's I'm like distance from you, even and the same thing is it's reciprocal. Ki adam Rav Yossi bar Chanina mudrani hemach shneim asurim. Okay, that's where we got up to last time. Says the Gemara, third line down, Tanan. This is now quotes from the Gemara later on page 47. Hareni alecha cherem. If a person says, Reuven says to Shimon, Hareni alecha cherem. Hareni, behold on me, on you, a cherem. Okay, cherem is a neder, cherem is not necessarily excommunication. So, says the Gemara, Hamudar asur, Shimon, the person that it's about, he's asur. Aval madir lo, but the person that says the neder is not asur to him. So the explanation is as follows: Hareni, behold, I am alecha, on you cherem. So it's on you, Shimon in our case. The Reuben's the guy talking. It's on you. Hareni, I am on you a cherem. So like you can't do anything to me. You can't benefit from me. I can maybe benefit from you, but you can benefit from me. Now, how could I do this? How could I control someone else? But I can because it's talking about me as well. I'm saying you can't benefit from me. I could do that. I could say that. Now, if you want to reciprocate, that's up to your prerogative. But I could still benefit from you if you want me to. But I could say that you are not benefiting from me. So the Gemara, though, this is a question.
Can you give an example, or like what do you mean? You cannot benefit from me?
You can't benefit from me. That's the example. It's the example. You can't come to my house. You can't talk to me. I don't know. Whatever. You can't benefit from me. So if let's say I made this as a neder, and
Wednesday night, I'm out.
Huh?
I'm out Wednesday night.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, that's an example. It's kind of. So now, if it's broad, that it can be broad like that, any type of example, or it could be, or it could be, or it could be maybe narrowed, right? We're going to see in a moment that if you specify, then it could be a specific thing. So the question here, though, is that it looks like it's going one way, and it's going the way of Shimon Asur on Reuven, but these words, Hareni alecha cherem, isn't that, so the Gemara wants to know, isn't that like Mudrani Himach from the last Gemara that we just saw? Mudrani Himach, like we're distance from you, and that was two ways, Asurim, Shneim Asurim. So answers the Gemara, lo, kegon de parish. No, the statement didn't end. It's as if, the case is that he explained the at alai lo. And me, and you on me, no. The at alai lo. So the guy explained that it's not the other way around. So really, it sounds like it should have been two ways asur, and it would have been not a question on Shmuel. But because he explained the at alai lo, then it works. Right? So again, Hareni alecha cherem, hamudar asur, the guy that it's spoken about. So Reuven says to Shimon, Hareni, behold, I am alecha on you cherem. So you can't benefit from me. Hamudar asur, hamadir lo. So the Gemara, it's a question because Shmuel would say in that case it wouldn't be shnem asurim, and so the Gemara could go into parish ve'at alai lo, and you on me no. Yeah, and you on me no, meaning on me to benefit from you is no. Okay, that I could still benefit from you. And the Gemara asks another question, 4 lines down, 5 lines down. At alai cherem. That's the opposite case. You, on me, is asur. So it's on me. Hanoder asur. The guy that makes the promise is asur. That's Reuven. Avamudar lo. But the person that's talking about is no. It's not asur to benefit from him. It's the opposite case. So again, wouldn't it be shneim asurim? Like mudranim imcha? At alai cherem? Answers the Gemara. No, here again. Kegon de parish ve'ana alecha lo. As if he said it, the cases that he said at the end, ve'ana alecha lo. So again, at alai cherem. You, on me is a cherem. So I can't benefit from you. That's why I know there is a surah, aval mudar lo. I can't benefit from you. You can benefit from me. So we said, shouldn't there be 2 ways? No, the case is that he explained, and he said the last words, the ana and me, alecha on you, no. You can benefit from me. And me on you, no. Okay, so he explained, he detailed, but says the Gemara, aval stam amai, what would be stam? Shnei masurim. We dissect from that Gemara, stam, meaning hareni alecha cherem, or at alai cherem, would be both of them are asur to each other. And now the Gemara is going to ask further. So the case was that you explained yourself, and that's why it's 1 way. But if you didn't explain yourself, it would have been 2 ways asur. So says the Gemara, hamidiktani seifa. Now we're going to get to the question. Hamidiktani seifa, that it says later on, hareni alecha ve'at alai. This is all in that Gemara there. Hareni alecha ve'at alai. Me on you and you on me. Shneim asurim. Both of them are asur. Haden hu de shneim asurim. In that, the law there is that both of them are asur. Hareni alecha ve'at alai. Hastama hu asur chavero mutar. But stam, hareni alecha, or ve'at alai, should be 1 way. So we started like this. We started by saying hareni alecha cherem is 1 way. Isn't that a question on what Shmuel said when he said mudrani hemach? Isn't it the same type of thing? He said no. He explained, and he says, and you're not on me. And then we gave the opposite case. I'm on you, and we explained no. It means and also you're not on me. Right, the opposite case. But if you didn't say that explanation, it would have been both of them are asur. But if you want to say hareni alecha cherem alone is both asur, the Gemara later says both asur is only when you explain both as asur. Hareni alecha ve'at alai. Hastama has hu asur v'chavero mutar. Stam of hareni alecha cherem is 1 way. So why did we say earlier the top of the Gemara, that mudranim imcha would be 2 ways? Right? So again, the Gemara is bringing a question on the statement of Shmuel that mudranim imcha is 2 ways asur. We said, well, hareni alecha cherem is 1 way. So then he said, no, that you the reason why it's 1 way is because you explained it to be 1 way. Ve'at alai lo. or you said the ana alecha lo. But stam would be two ways. So if stam hareni alecha is two ways, but the seifa speaks out specifically hareni alecha ve'at alai. That's two ways asur. But stam is one. Hareni alecha cherem is one. So mudrani mimcha should be one way. Why is mudrani mimcha according to Shmuel two ways? And also according to Rav Yossi Bar Chanina, who seconded the words of Shmuel. Hold on. Okay. Answers the Gemara. Elahachi itmar. The Rav Yossi Bar Chanina. Rather, this is what Rav Yossi Bar Chanina said. Mudar ani lecha. Shnehem asurim. Mudrani hemach hu asur v'chavero mutar. So the whole question was on the wording mudrani hemach. Mudrani hemach in Aramaic, I say Yiddish, hemach in Aramaic is mimcha, it's from you. So the statement was originally at the top of the page was mudrani hemach, the top line, mudrani hemach, and they said that's a two-way asur. Each one is on each other, and we now just asked on that. So answer the Gemara elahachi itmar. Remember, the word "ela" is always coming to kind of erase what was said before. So no, rather this is what we meant. Elahachi itmar. This is what was meant. The Rav Yossi Bar Chanina mudar ani lecha shneim asurim. When is the case of shneim asurim? Is mudar ani lecha. And we're going to see the run on that to explain why mudar ani lecha is two ways. But mudrani hemach, I'm like a neder from mimcha, from you, hu asur v'chavero mutar. Like mudrani mimcha, I'm like a neder on me from you. So that is, I am asur on you, that only. That's one. So we're re-explaining. At first we thought mudrani hemach is two ways. Based on the question we asked, we're changing it up. We're saying, no, mudrani hemach is one way. The guy makes a neder, he's the one that's asur on him, one way. But moder ani lecha, that's what Rav Yossi Bar Chanina said, that's a two-way. Mudar ani lecha. Let's see the Ran to explain this. Right across from where we are in the Gemara, ela hachi itmar.
What is ela hachi itmar?
Ela, rather, hachi itmar. This is what he said. Itmar is like,
okay.
Like omer. Ela hachi itmar says the not the name Itamar, but yeah. So let's look at the Ran on the left side. Ela hachi itmar. This is what was said. Amar Rav Yossi Bar Chanina mudrani lecha shneim asurim. So here the Ran has mudrani lecha. We have moder ani lecha. Same type of thing. Mudrani is moder ani, right? Shalachani like shalachani like. Mudrani is moder ani lecha shneim asurim. Okay, the lecha says the Ran mashma lecha klomar nechasai asurin lecha umashma mishelcha. So the word lecha to you, he says it sounds like it means my property is asur on you. Umashra mishelcha, and it's also from your things are asur on me. So moder ani, like a promise on me, lecha, to you.
To both ways.
So the Ran says this is a both way thing. That's why shneim asurim. Why? Lecha on you, anything that's mine on you. That's easy. So, but lecha also says mishelcha alai. like from your stuff on me. Mashen can back to the run. Mashen can behemach. The word hemach is mimcha. Mimcha is specific, yours. The lo mashmachi. It's not. You can't derive a two-way thing from mimcha or hemach, which is mimcha. Okay, so we have an understanding now, which fits with the Gemara, that moder ani lecha. That's the two ways. Mudrani hemach, which is mudrani mimcha, is one way. Okay. Says the Gemara. Veha matnitin. Says the Gemara. Veha matnitin. The first one line is mutar. About 40% down. Veha matnitin diktani. But the Mishnah says hemach. Ve'okimna limatnitin l'shmuel. See, the Mishnah, let me just check the Mishnah a second. It says hemach. It's mimcha. I mean, the Mishnah says mimcha the whole time, but that mimcha and hemach is the same thing. If you look at the Mishnah, Omer l'chavra mudranim mimcha, mufreshanim mimcha, murchanim mimcha, those are all hemachs, right? So that's what the Mishnah says.
What is Diktani?
Diktani, so the word tani is teach, as it was taught. Diktani, as it was taught, and tani is always either Mishnah or Braita. Tanya is Braita, Ditnan is Mishnah. So that was in the Tanaic works. That's why we always start with Mishnah, and the Gemara explains the Mishnah. So Diktani is always going back on the Mishnah. So says the Gemara, Veha matnitin. Here the Gemara explains that it explains even more because the word matnitin is Mishnah. Veha matnitin, but our Mishnah diktani, that it says that it taught there hemach, which is mimcha. Ve'okimna lematnitin, and we establish our Mishnah leShmuel, according to Shmuel, bekulan, and all those cases in the Mishnah, ad sheyomar, until you say shani toim lecha v'shani ochel lecha, hu de asur v'chavero mutar. Ava b'mudrani hemach shneim asurim. So now we re-ask. So hold on a second. If we just reconfigured the words of Rav Yossi Bar Chanina to say that mudrani hemach is one way asur, mudrani hemach, which is mudrani mimcha, is one way asur. Hold on a second. Our Mishnah talks about these cases. Our Mishnah talks about hemach, which is mimcha, and according to Shmuel, the Mishnah is it only works when you say, because we started this by saying it's a vague terminology, mudrani mimcha, or mechukanim, distance from you. So it only works when you add shani toim lecha shani ochel lecha, hu de asur v'chavero mutar. Ava mudrani mimcha shneim asurim. So mudrani mimcha, you might say, means both of them are asur. When Shmuel says shani toim lecha shani ochel lecha, that has to be added to the words of the Mishnah. That's one way though, shani toim lecha. But if you don't say those words, mudrani mimcha, doesn't it mean that both are asur? So we're now basically undoing what we just said. We just said that mudrani mimcha is going to be one way asur. But an inference from our Mishnah is that mudrani mimcha would be two ways asur. Because according to Shmuel, shani toim lecha shani ochel lecha added to the words mudrani mimcha is that's it's a one way isur. But if you just say mudrani mimcha, wouldn't it be a two-way isur? Answers the Gemara, Ella, rather. Hold on a second. Yeah, I spoke of the round as well. Okay, says the Gemara, Ela meikara, the Shmuel, Ela meikara the Shmuel hachitmar. Rather, at the beginning, according to Shmuel, he explained as follows: Tama de amar shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha. That he said, Shmuel added that we have to say in that statement of mechukani mimcha mudrani mimcha, you have to add shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha, that I'm going to eat from you, that I'm not going to eat from you, not going to taste from you. Who en hu asur elab achila. Hamudrani mimcha asur afilu behana'a. One second. So this answer is Ela Meikara de Shmuel hachitmar. Tama de Amar shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha. That Shmuel said you have to say shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha is that it's asur be'achila. Hamudrani mimcha, but mudrani mimcha alone, I'm like a neder from you, is asur afilu behana, is asur even in any type of benefit. So like this. The Gemara's question was when Shmuel added the words that you have to say shani toim lecha shani ochel lecha, and that makes it one way. Hu asur chavero mutar. So we thought to say, okay, mudrani micha alone means then both of them are asurim. So says Shmuel now in this answer, no, it's always still going to be one-way isur. It's always going to be a one-way isur. That one-way isur, though, depends on what? When you say shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha, that isur is only on food-related things. I'm asur for you, you're asur for me. Mudrani mimcha, on what? Shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha. I can't eat from you. So it's always a one-way, but it's about eating. But mudrani mimcha, but mudrani mimcha is not a two-way isur. I to you, you to me, and therefore it's going to be a question, what we said earlier. But rather, mudrani mimcha is still a one-way isur, but it's not just food, it's even any type of benefit. So it's not a question, mudrani mimcha is now I can infer two ways. No, don't infer mudrani mimcha is two ways. It's still one way. I'm asur on you, you're not asur on me. Chavero mutar. It's still one way. But the question is, on what is it asur? Shani toim lecha, shani ochel lecha, on what is food? Mudrani mimcha, the on what is everything. On that, the Gemara asks, Ihachi, last two words of that line is Ihachi, if so, Lema Shmuel Hachi. Maybe Shmuel should have said this. Ve'im lo amar ela shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha en asur ela b'achila. So says the Gemara, it's fine, Shmuel, you have a good answer, but it doesn't fit into the wording of the Mishnah. Why? The wording of the Mishnah is mudrani mimcha, and then add Shmuel. You have to say on top of mudrani mimcha, shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. Meaning, says the Gemara, okay, until this point, so the Gemara's answer before this iyachi is mudrani mimcha is worse than shani toim lecha, shani ochel lecha. Mudrani mimcha is I'm a neder from you. It's still one way, but it's all hana'as. Says Shmuel, you have to say shani toim lecha, shani ochel lecha if you want to talk about food specifically. So then what's going to be the statement? Mudrani mimcha, shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. Hold on a second. Mudrani mimcha is I'm asur for everything, all hana'as. Shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. It should have been that Shmuel says the statement is ve'im lo amar ela shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. That you should have only said shani toim lecha because mudrani mimcha is more. It's so mudrani mimcha shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. It should just say shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. Why, Shmuel, are you adding on to the words mudrani mimcha? Why are you adding on to the words mudrani mimcha shani toim lecha, shani ochel lecha? Just say it alone. Ve'im lo amar. That's what Shmuel. It should have been iachi lema Shmuel achi. If so, that's the first question now. If so, that she'ani ochel lecha sheni tov lecha is just ba'achila, and mudranim lecha is just behanaa, but it's still only one way. If that's so, lema Shmuel should have said ve'im lo amar ela. It should have been that you only said shani ochel lecha sheni tov lecha. In asur ela ba'achila. That was only asur ba'achila. Why? According to this explanation, Shmuel's adding the words. You have to say mudrani mimcha shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. Should have just say, because mudrani mimcha is everything. Just say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. Yeah, let's read the run. Just to see this question even clearer. It's the first of the widest lines towards the bottom. It's the line before that. Hachi garsinan. Hachi. If so, lema Shmuel, first of the widest lines. Lema Shmuel hachi. Shmuel should have said this. Im lo amar shani ochel lecha asur afilu hana. So, says the Ran, Klomar. Hechi ka'amar Shmuel. What did it mean by Shmuel when Shmuel said Ad Sheyomar? Meaning Ad Sheyomar, it's only going to be Asur Ad Sheyomar Shani Ochel Lecha Sheni Tov Lecha. De mashma, de ilo amar hachi. It's mashma. You could infer from here that if he didn't say Ad Sheyomar Ad Sheyochal Lecha V'Sheni Tov Lecha Lo Mitzar, it's mashma that you're not going to be Asur in anything. Meaning we thought the words Mudrani Yucha. Well, hey, that's very, very vague. What does mudrani mimcha mean? Shmuel adds, no, you have to say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. Then you're going to be asur on something. That's what we thought. Says the Gemara, adarabba. But now we're just learning that it's the opposite way around. Ilo amar hachi, if you didn't say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha, mitzar tfeh, you're going to be asur on more things. Mudrani mimcha is both things. He should have explained and said that way. Meaning as follows. Shmuel came to, at first, when he said that when you say mudrani mimcha, you have to say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. Why? Because I would have thought mudrani mimcha is nothing. I'm distance from you. Distance from what? So I need to say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. But according to our explanation now, mudrani mimcha is worse than shani ochel lecha. Mudrani mimcha alone is asur b'hana'ah. So Shmuel says, until you only say v'im lo ochel lecha shani tov lecha, but mudrani mimcha is even worse. So it should have been v'im lo amar ela shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. It should have been that if you only said shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha, it's asur b'achila. But if you said mudrani mimcha, you're asur even b'hana'ah. So the question is like this. Summing up before we move on to the answer, that Shmuel came to explain shani. He says when it says in the Mishnah mudrani mimcha, you can't say like that. You have to say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. So we said, hold on a second. This is in the last answer. So shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha, that's asur b'achila. Mudrani mimcha is asur even b'hana'ah, which is asur even more. Says the Gemara, hold on a second. Shmuel said, you have to say this, in order to make something asur. But what do you mean, something asur? Mudrani mimcha alone is worse than shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. Shmuel should have said, if you only say shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha, it's going to be ba'achila. That's what Shmuel should have said. But he didn't say that. He said you could only make something asur over here if you say mudrani mimcha shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. But we just said mudrani mimcha is asur afilu b'hana'ah. So how does this answer fit? Now the Gemara is going to explain, and this is the final answer. Ella, rather.
Who's explaining? No?
This is the Gemara asking on Shmuel's, because Shmuel made a statement. When it says mudrani mimcha in the Mishnah, it's not, you can't say that alone. You have to add shani ochel lecha shani tov lecha. So the understanding, the truth is that the Gemara is going to go back to now, was mudrani mimcha is nothing, and and Shmuel's coming to add, Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha. But we just established in this back and forth, because we thought according to Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina, Mudranim Yuchas Shnei Masurim. That's if you look at the second line from the top, Shnei Masurim. So we said, so Mudrani Hemach, which is Mudranim Yuchas Shnei Masurim. So Shmuel, what did Shmuel come to say? Oh, you have to say Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha. So last answer was no. Shmuel says when you talk about food, you say Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha. If you don't want to talk about food, just say Mudranim Yuchas. You're asur even on everything. So then the Gemara now is asking this last question. If that's the case, Shmuel should have said, and if you didn't say anything, then say Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha. Because if you say Mudranim Yuchas, you're asur on even more things. So what did Shmuel come to add? So now the Gemara is saying, Ella rather, 7 lines up from the bottom. Ella rather, Hachi Itmar. This is the explanation of Shmuel. Ta'amad de'amar shani ochel lecha v'shani to'im lecha hu de'asur. That when you said shani ochel lecha shani to'im lecha, that's asur. Aval omer mudrani hemach lo mashma de'amar asur. It's not mashma that you said anything is asur. My tama, why is that so? Because moder ani mimcha, which is mudrani hemach, you could explain it as something very vague. Lo mishtayina behadach mashma. I'm not talking to you. Maybe that's what it means. Mudrani hemach. I'm making a neder from you. It doesn't mean maybe in a actual. I'm not talking to you. Or mufreshani michat. We learned from the bottom. Delo avidna imach masau matan mashma. Maybe the fact that I say I'm just distancing from you means I'm not working with you anymore. I don't want to do any business with you. Or meruchkani mimcha, or I'm distancing from you. Delo kaimna dalet amot dilach mashma. Maybe it means I'm not going to stand with you in your dalet amot. I'm not going to stand with you in your dalet amot. So those words are very vague, right? So those words are very vague. And therefore, when Shmuel says, Shani ochel lecha, Shani to'im lecha, he's bringing context to Mudrani hemach. Because Mudrani hemach alone would be nothing. And this is was the original answer. And the only reason why we asked, was the original explanation of Shmuel. But we asked all these questions because Mudrani hemach, we had a reason to say that both of them are asurim. So now we're going back to the original. No. Mudrani hemach alone, according to Shmuel, is nothing because it's very vague. Maybe it means I'm not going to talk to you. Maybe it means I'm not going to work with you anymore. Maybe it means I'm not going to stand beside you. So because of all these maybes, I'm going to see them run in a moment. Because of all these maybes, it means nothing because I can't pin it on something. So that's why Shmuel says you have to lock it in and say that I'm not going to eat from you. I'm not going to taste from you. It has to be something specific. So that's what Shmuel came to say. So Ela Hachi Itmar. Let's read it again. Rather, this is what Shmuel came to say. Ta'amar de Amar, back to the Gemara before. Ela Hachi Itmar. This is what Shmuel meant to say. Ta'amar de Amar shani ochel lecha v'shani to'im lecha. The reason why Shmuel said you have to say as well shani ochel lecha, shani to'im lecha, hu de asur. That's when it's going to be asur. Aval Amar mudrani hemach. But if a guy says I'm making a neder from you, lo mashma, it's not. There's no understanding. There's no exact understanding. The amar asur, that it's going to be asur. Why? My ta'ama. Why is no understanding? Because mudarani mimcha lo mashtaina ba'adach mashma. Maybe it means I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Mufreshani mimcha, I'm separated from you. The lo avidna imach masam matan mashma. Maybe it sounds like I don't want to work with you anymore. Miruchkani mimcha, I'm distancing from you. Maybe it means that I just don't want to stand beside you within your dalet amot. So there's no exact thing to what these mean. That's why Shmuel said you have to say Shani ochel lecha, Shani to'im lecha. Bring it to something more exact. Let's read the Ran, the bottom of the page. Ela hachi itmar. Ta'amad amar v'chulu. Kolmar, as if to say, le'olam, really, k'de'amrinan me'ikara, that we said at the beginning, Dechi lo amar Shmuel. Dechi lo amar shani ochel lecha. If you didn't say shani ochel lecha, this was the original explanation which we're going back to. According to Shmuel, if you didn't say shani ochel lecha, mutar, you're actually allowed to still benefit from this guy. Why? The Tama Mishum, the reason is because the lo mashma the amar asur. Because it's not mashma that he necessarily said that I'm asur on you, you're asur on me. The havilu yadayim, because these cases are yadayim she'en mochichot, are yadayim that don't have a hochacha. It's something that's vague. Velo havyan yadayim, and therefore according to Shmuel, and it's not a yad. If according to Shmuel, merchukani mimcha is like nothing. The dilma is maybe mudrani himach diloma shtayina bahadach mashma. As the Gemara says, maybe it means we're not going to work with you. Maybe it is this. Va'afilu bedibura nami lo mitzar. And even though he said these words, even though that dibur, it's not going to make anything asur. The lo yadinan ilahana ichaven. We don't know. Did he have kavanah for hana'a? Ila dibura ichaven, or he had kavanah for speech. Ulechol chad vechad. Havalehu yadayim she'en mochichot. All these cases are yadayim, are a yad type of an eder, but it's not mochiach. I can't prove what exactly I'm going to distance myself from, right? The kevan de ta'amed de Shmuel. And since the reasoning of Shmuel is mishum de kasavar yadayim she'en mochichot lo havyan yadayim. Yadayim she'en mochichot is not a yad. So and he holds it's not a yad, so it's nothing. Leka lemifrach alami braita. Therefore, you can't ask on him. Another round goes with a side question. You can't ask on him from a braita the kevan de plukta de tanayu, because you can't ask on Shmuel from a braita because there's a machloket tanaim. If ihavin yadayim ilo, if a yad she'en mochichot is considered a yad or not. Ikale meimar the tana de braita svirale. Havyan yadayim, Shmuel dayak mimatanitin de lo havyan yadayim. Says the Ran that there's a machloket in the braita, a machloket tanaim. So Shmuel could say, I go like that tana that says yadayim she'en mochichot en yadayim telel kiparchim in braita hainu mishum de hava sviralan da afilu yadayim nami lo havi. Okay, so summing this up is it comes out that there are three types of leshonot. There are three types of speech when it comes to yadayim, right? When it comes to neder, it comes to kinui, so it's more specific. Yadayim is a handle that lifts up the whole thing. Now, a handle a little bit lifts up the whole thing. That little bit though has to tell me something specific, says Shmuel. So you have three types of statements. Statement number one is yad shemochiach, a yad that is specific. According to Shmuel, that would be that you say shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. It has to be specific. That everyone agrees is considered a neder. Then, so that's the top case. The middle case, well, let's go to the bottom case. The bottom case is you say something, but it's really not even a yad, not even a yad. So I say, like, go away or bye. I'm like, well, does that mean I'm never allowed to talk to you again or whatever? Right? No, I just said bye. Maybe bye means, but it's not even a yad. Like it's not even, doesn't even get into. So the middle case is yadayim she'enan mochichot. A yad, but it's not specific. So I say mirchukani mimcha. I'm distancing myself from you, but it's not specific. So Shmuel says it's nothing. It's like you said nothing because it's very unspecific. But there's other tanaim that's what the Ran says that says no, that even though it's not specific, it means everything. It means all encompassing. It doesn't mean nothing. It means the opposite extreme. So that's the explanation of Shmuel. Why Shmuel said you have to say shani toim lecha, shani ochel lecha. You have to say that. That's what Shmuel says to make it more specific. Because if it's not specific, it's nothing. And then tomorrow's Gemara is going to be: does Shmuel hold yadayim she'enam mochichot enam yadayim? Because that's what we just established. The Shmuel holds yadayim that are not mochiach, that are vague, is not considered yad. It's nothing. Does he really hold that, or does he hold not like that? That's what we're going to get into tomorrow. It's technical, but That's what to expect in Nedarim, like exact wording.
So I agree on the vague.
On the vague, then it means nothing more. You feel that it means, as opposed to
You
meaning.
just say it, like Mudrani Mach, I think it's like, it should be vague.
It's considered vague. Yeah, we'll see
to
it.
break another if you're too general, right? If you're general,
Yeah.
then you forget
Then-
about that detail.
Right, then what does it mean? Yeah, it goes on everything. Chazak.